Hey guys, what's up? My name is Skurs, and as you guys probably already know, TBC Classic Anniversary, whatever you want to call it, is unofficially announced to be released, most likely in spring 2026. And I want to prepare you a little bit by, creating a little tier list for TBC arenas. I'm not going to be talking about VGs, but I'm also not going to be talking about 5v5s. I'm going to be only focusing on 2v2 and 3v3, mostly 3v3 because that's where you can get the juicy gladiator title and mount. So let's just hop right into it, alright? We're gonna start with the Frost Mage. Frost Mage. I'm gonna put it in S tier, obviously. If you've ever played TBC PvP, you already know what I'm talking about. Melees have no chance against you. The insane crits that you can do. Polys. 10-second poly is insane. You can spam that stuff as well. The roots, Ice, Frost Nova, everything you can do is just insanely broken. I would put Frost Mage in S tier, S++++ tier. This is an insane spec. Like, absolutely insane. Actually, I just see that we have no trash tier, so I need to do one more. Let's add one below and call it unplayable or whatever. Let's call it unplayable. Because I'm gonna put all of the tanks in this tier, and to clear up some of this list already, what else do we have? Feral tank. Alright, let's go. Holy Pelly. If you're playing a Holy Pelly, you're most likely gonna encounter Disciplined Priests as well, which can dispel two hots, two buffs at once. So they can easily dispel your Bob, easily dispel your Bubble with a Mass Dispel. It's gonna be very easy for them to just ruin your life, and because of that fact, Pelly is not gonna be A tier. It's gonna be B tier at max. Like you're gonna have such a struggle against any kind of priest comp. You're immobile, and after Bubble and Bob, you're just cooked, Sacrifice is not the same as in retail right now. It's not 30% reduction, it's just going to be 114 or something reduction. It's just not good, So I'm going to put a maximum in B tier, maximum, right? If even, I'm not even sure. Let's see later, okay? Let's see later. We got the Ret Paladin coming up. Ret Paladin is pretty good if you play it with, for example, a Shami comp. If you play 2v2 Ret Paladin and you have a Resto Shaman as your mate, you are most likely going to one-shot somebody at some point of the game because of the Wind Fury Totem. That's super good. If I would go for the 2v2 Ret Paladin, I would put him in A tier. But the 3v3 Ret Paladin is not my favorite, It seems kind of clunky, Just like this icon right here. They're not going to be doing too much besides auto-attacking. So I'm going to put him in a B tier as well, next to the other Pelly. Okay? And now we got the banger coming up. The Disciplined Priest. I'm a Disciplined main, and I know more or less what I'm talking about right here. That's Discipline. You have so many possibilities. You can play a little bit defensively, you can play super aggressively, you can dispel two hots at once, two beneficial effects at once, and dispel two debuffs at once. So this is super good. The negative aspect is your mana pool. You need to be very careful what you do. If you're man. You have Shadow Fiend, but what's that gonna give you? Like 10-15% mana at max? Like what are you gonna do? But besides that, Discipline is super good. Like your spells can get dispelled, alright, I understand that. But let me give you some advice. Rebuff yourself with rank 1 spells. Rank 1 Fortitude, rank 1 Shadow Resistance. You're gonna be good to go. So you won't even have to be too scared about your power shield being dispelled and your renew being dispelled. That's not happening too much unless you're playing against another Disciplined Priest. You also have Fear Ward. It's insane as well. If you play Undead and Discipline, you're gonna be a machine. You're gonna be super strong. You can also play Dwarf and Discipline to use Stone Form whenever you need it. So yeah, I'm gonna put that discipline in S tier, obviously, but on the other side we have the Holy Priest, which is literally unplayable. That's a PvE spec. I'm sorry, guys. Who needs the spirit form? You know, you have to die for it to trigger. So that's literally useless. I'm sorry to say to all Holy Priests out there who try this meme spec. Maybe you can use it in the BG, but no thanks. Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest, also called the one button spec, because you only need it for silence and nothing more. It's meh, you know, it's meh, it's situational. In my opinion, it's very situational. You only need it for silence, really. That's it. You could put a few dots on your enemies, you can have some mind play going on. But other than that, I'm very sorry. C tier. Assassination Rogue is unplayable. Also Combat Rogue. I'm sorry about that. Those are PvE specs. TBC is very specific when it comes to PvP. Like two of those rogue specs are gonna be absolutely F tier, but on the other side, Sub Rogue is S tier. You know, you cannot play any other rogue spec in PvP because only Sub Rogue has Shadow Staff. You know, and some other goodies. You know, like Cheat Death and stuff. You cannot play any other rogue spec. I'm sorry, you can't. Just get that out of your head. Don't do it. Balance Druid, very nice with the clones, but I have a feeling that once they're being pressured, they're cooked, right? You gotta force them to go bear. Then maybe you can pressure them a little bit more into bear. Like if they're playing with a Discipline Priest, Discipline is not healing much. They're just cooked. They can never go out of bear again. What are they gonna do? Oh, maybe they can cast one more Moonfire, but that's it. Maybe they can root somebody if they fail their kick. Okay, but for that they need to fail their kick. I'm sorry, but I think that balance is better than Shadow. But other than that, it's gonna go C tier as well. Elemental Shaman. I like Elemental. As I said in the beginning, I'm not gonna count 5v5 too much, but in 5s, this spec is hella crazy. But also in 3s, I think Ela is really good. You know, they got Bloodlust, they got Chain Lightning, which is really strong in TBC. Chain Lightning can fuck you up really, really badly if you stand too close to your mates. They got Tremor, they got some other stuff going on, and I think they're really good if you combine it with, I don't know. Okay, I don't want to talk for Enhancer right now, but if you play Enhancer, you have a Wind Fury Totem, you go Berserk and play with a Ret Paladin. Oof, if you are lucky, you can one-shot somebody so easily. But Ela is pretty good as well. So I'm gonna put Ela in B tier. But on the other hand, I'm gonna put Enhancer in C tier, just because they're a melee with limited, how can I say it? Limited actions to do, you know? It's just gonna be another auto attack simulator. I mean, you got Earthshock, you can maybe kick the enemy healer, but other than that, you're just a Wind Fury simulator. I'm sorry to say, you're gonna go C tier as well. Resto Shaman. Resto Shaman is really cool, actually. So the more I think about it, the lower I want to put the Holy Pally, okay? It's gonna go C tier. Because the Shaman, the more I think about it, they got Earth Shield, they got a Heart, they got unlimited Tremor Totems. They can put that shit somewhere below the bridge, be on top of the bridge, and Priest cannot do anything anymore. So I'm gonna put them in B tier. They're pretty good. They're not as good as others, but they're solid. They're pretty solid. Affliction Lock. I'm gonna combine Affliction and Demo Lock because every lock is playing this hybrid spec of Affliction and Demo. You know, you want the Siphon Live dot from Affliction, but you at the same time want this minus 20% damage from Demo. You know, I forgot the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna put both of them in A tier. Just imagine this is one spec right now, you know, the Affliction Demo hybrid. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. And on the other hand, I say Destro is gonna go into the D tier. I think you can play it situationally, but you're missing the minus 20% damage. Like the 20% damage reduction is super important, and you will have limited dots. It's just not gonna be good, right? It's not gonna be good. You still have fear, you still have stuff that, you know, Affliction and Demo have, but other than that, you need to be very, very careful with this spec. You're probably gonna do some heavy ass chaos balls, yeah, sure. Shadow balls. Played too much retail, man. Anyways, let's continue. Arms Warrior. It's a staple class. You're gonna see Arms Warriors everywhere. But because they're being controlled so much by Frost Mages, let's say you will see a Frost Mage every second game. Also a Rogue every second game. Maybe every game. Arms Warrior is gonna be... If you play Warrior, I'm very sorry, but you will have many tears running down your face. Because you will not be able to move for, let's say, 80% of the game. And if you do, I don't know. I'm gonna put him at A tier. Mortal Strike. Mortal Strike is minus 50% healing received. This is insane. You cannot play without it. That's why Fury goes into the unplayable tier. They do not have access to Mortal Strike, and that makes them unplayable. Like, why would you play without Mortal Strike? That would be the worst decision ever, right? Pharaoh. Pharaoh is pretty cool. I like Pharaoh. They have some pretty good burst, actually. But other than that, I think they're just the worst rogues, right? If you have sub-rogue, in my opinion, okay? You can hate me for this, but if a sub-rogue exists, I see no reason why you should play Pharaoh. You have a clone, okay, you need to go out of cat form. Okay, I see you. You have a bleed, I see you. But other than that, what do you want to do with Pharaoh? You can just press your one button rotation and hope that somebody dies. But you will get slapped by Resto Druids. You will get feared by hunters. Does it exist in TBC? I think you get feared by hunters. Scare beast. Yeah, it's just not good. It's just not good. I don't like it. It's not as bad as Destro's. You can play it. You can play it well. But I think Rogue is gonna cook you, you know? Especially because I think Rogues can see you a little bit quicker instead than you see them. Especially if they wear those goggles. No, the trinket, the jewel crafting trinket. Anyways, let's continue. Resto Druid. What do you say? It's S tier. Obviously, it's S tier. They cannot get polyed by Mage. They can just instantly shapeshift and the poly is gone. They have insanely good hots. Life Bloom, if you dispel it, it will instantly heal for a certain amount. If you play a Tauren, you have an AoE stun on top of your OP spec. That's insane. If you play a Night Elf, I don't know, you can Shadow Mile something if you like. But I think if you play a Tauren, you're gonna be super good as a Resto Druid. It's such a good spec. It's insane. You got Cyclone even, you got Roots, you got Bear Form, you got Enrage Regeneration, you got everything. It's such a good spec. You got Bark Skin, you got everything. You got stuff. You can just drink in cat form instead. That's insane. So, Resto Druid is one of the best specs in this game. And pause. That's it. Full stop. Let's continue with the hunters. I think BM is pretty good because fuck, I gotta tab into my game because I forgot the ability's name. Where is it? Do I see a hunter in game? No, I do not. Enraged Beast. Oh, what is it called again? Beast, something with Beast. You know, you get immune to fear, and you do insane damage, and your pet gets immune to fear as well. So that is insane. So I'm gonna put him in A tier. On the other side, we got Hunter with another silence. The last point in the talent tree is a silence effect, which is pretty solid. And you got the True Shot aura, which gives you like 50 ranged attack, like That's not too much. But if you play MM, you play it because of the silence effect in certain comms. But because it's so situational, I'm gonna put them in B tier. But BM is very solid overall. It's a super solid spec. Because you combine it a little bit with the marksman spec to get aim shot. And multi-shot is also able to almost one-shot somebody. So Hunter is super good. Let's go to survival. Survival is very situational as well. I don't know the correct talent tree. Maybe there's multiple for survival, but you can even disarm some people if you parry an attack. But I don't know if people really use that. Other than that, you have what's it called? Some sting, you know, some sleep effect. You can sleep somebody for 10 seconds. I know what the abilities do, but I always forget their names. You can sleep somebody for 10 seconds as a poison effect. If somebody is a dwarf, they can just stone form out of this. I don't know if that's too good. So because there's many priests playing dwarves, that's going to be useless. Other than that, an extra CC is fine. It depends on the comm that you want to play. If you want to play as a hunter and go super aggro, you're going to play BM because you cannot get feared anymore. Your pet is going to do insane damage, you're going to do insane damage, but survival is just not going to do that insane damage. You know what I mean? So survival is going to go into the B tier as well, next to the MM hunter. Hunter is very solid, but BM is just better than the other two. So in the end, we got Arcane and Fire. Arcane and Fire. Arcane, if I were to rank Arcane, I put it here. Okay? And if I were to rank Fire, I put it here. But if you combine those two, you get Pom-Poly Mage. You got Pom, Presence of Mind, is an ability that makes your next spell instant cast, you know? So you're just gonna buff yourself up with this 30% damage effect from Arcane, the Presence of Mind, and you're gonna pyroblast somebody, and they're gonna be cooked, you know? You're gonna be some one-shot mage, basically, and because of that, you're gonna be the bottom of C tier. I mean, Pom-Poly Mage is still pretty good. You have everything that a mage has, besides 2 ice blocks. You don't have 2 ice blocks, you don't have Cold Snap, you have no water elemental, but you have one-shot ability, you have Poly, you still have Frost Nova, so you're still pretty solid, but I think you don't have this insane survivability that Frost has, so you're just gonna be some meme spec, if I were to say so. I'm very sorry for every Pom-Poly player, but if you don't get to one-shot me with your stupid Pyroblast, what are you gonna do for the next few minutes? I don't know. But if you do one-shot me, I'm gonna be pissed, because that shit does like 6,000 damage crit, and I'm gonna be very sad about that. But anyways, thank you for watching this tier list. I hope it's fine with you, because I think it's fine. Let me just watch over it for a second. I'm very happy that I put Holy Pally a little bit more down, because it is not as good as I anticipated. You know, it's definitely not B tier. That spot is reserved for the rest of Shami. And I think, don't forget, Affliction and Demo is 1 spec, and Arcane and Fire is 1 spec as well. So there you have it, folks. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm gonna get many haters for this, because I'm basically roasting every spec right here, besides as an A tier. But yeah, it is what it is, boys! I wish you a nice day, okay? Bye-bye.